Okay, this is a quick look at the WPF Wii Data Visualizer. What we're going to do is we're going to walk through all of the visualizations on this particular application and take a look at how they correspond to the Wiimote and how it interacts with the computer, and also how it is going to help us out as we move ahead in this tutorial series on getting multi-point to work in a WPF environment. So we'll start up at the top left with the accelerometers. Accelerometers have progress bars that indicate data, from -2 to +2. Now, they all indicate a very specific state on the Wiimote. Let's look at the top one, the X accelerometer. It's at 0 when I hold the Wiimote as normal. It goes to -1 when I tilt it 90 degrees to the left. It goes to +1 when I tilt it 90 degrees to the right. Now the Y accelerometer, it goes to -1 when I hold the Wiimote straight up. It goes to +1 when I hold the Wiimote straight down. And now the Z accelerometer is at +1 when I'm holding the Wiimote straight up, over to -1 when I'm holding it completely upside down. Moving down a little bit, we have a visual indication of the status of all of the buttons on the Wiimote. We have the B button, the A button, directional buttons, and as you press them down they change a background, just letting you know, giving you a visual indication of the status of your Wiimote. Now down at the bottom of this we have a visual indication of the LED status, except it's not visual indication, these are actually checkboxes, and we can change the LED status of the Wiimote by clicking on them. We also have a rumble button here. We can click that, and if I'm really quiet, maybe you can hear it rumbling, and turn it back off. Okay, so now that we've gone over most of the big points of that, we're going to take a look at the infrared camera field here. The infrared camera field, the way the Wiimote works is that in the front that's actually an infrared camera, and you can actually see in this video the infrared lights. Normally you wouldn't be able to see those. For some reason this camera's picking them up, which makes me quite happy. So we point the Wiimote at the screen, and we can see it's picking up those two lights, and then it calculates a midpoint between them. Quite useful. This is all data that's coming directly from the Wiimote into the computer. There's no processing going on whatsoever. But we'll notice that as we turn the Wiimote to the left, all of my points move to the right. As we turn the Wiimote to the right, all of my points move to the left. So this isn't really, you'd think the midpoint might be where you're pointing the Wiimote. It's not. It goes up and down just fine, but it doesn't go to left to right. So one of the things we've got is down at the bottom we have a checkbox that allows us to show a target point. And this target point basically swaps around the x-axis of the midpoint, and so we can take a look at that and say, okay, yeah, that's much better. It looks like I'm actually pointing at the thing. And we can, if we want to, for visual simplicity, we can turn the raw points off and just look at the target. And now we've just got our target sitting there and pointing to it. Woo! So much fun. Okay. Now, because this is part of a series on doing multi-point WPF, every time I've seen multi-point done, both by Johnny Chung Lee and Rick Bazara, I can't pronounce his name, what they do is they put the Wiimote up there, and the camera is then facing you, and then they have infrared light shining and the reflective tape on their fingertips to reflect back, so it looks like a point to the Wiimote control, to the Wiimote infrared camera. Since I don't have that hardware all with me at the moment, we're just going to take a look at this with the LED lights that come with the Nintendo Wii. So we're holding our LED lights, and we'll immediately notice that when I move the lights, let's pretend I've got one finger on one end, one finger on the other. So these are my two fingers. Well, when I move my fingers over to the right, my points move to the left. When I move my fingers over to the left, my points move to the right. When I move my fingers up, and points move down, down, up. This would be a problem because I would have to mirror every single one of my movements in order to make it show up on the screen. What we have instead is an option to go into multi-point mode. We click into multi-point mode, and this swaps both the X and the Y axis. And so now when we're holding our LED lights, they actually move in pretty close correspondence to how our fingers are moving. Up is up, down is down, right is right, left is left. So that's a quick overview of the Wii Data Visualizer. We will use it to do a little bit of our data analysis as we move on, and it's actually going to help us a lot as we move into 2 more tutorials on the multi-point interface in WPF.